When Russia began its military intervention in Ukraine, it did not expect at all that Ukraine would put up such a strong resistance and hold on for this long. Ukraine's ability to withstand Russian battering all this while can largely be attributed to the support it has received from Western nations. It is due to the support from the West that Ukraine has been able to push back against Russian forces and recapture key areas. And Ukraine is fully aware of the value that Western support holds in bolstering its defense capabilities. This is why it has been relentless in rallying for increased assistance from the West. The narrative crafted by Ukraine suggests that victory is within reach if necessary support is provided. And indeed, this narrative has resonated with Western powers, leading to substantial aid and weaponry being sent to Ukraine. However, despite the significant assistance Ukraine has received, the balance of the war has not decisively shifted in its favor. This reality raises a question about the sustainability of Western support in the long term. The fragile state of many Western economies cannot be ignored, as economic pressure poses challenges to the continuation of aid and support to Ukraine. It is simply unrealistic to expect the West to provide support indefinitely, especially considering the precarious state of many Western economies. In the midst of an economic downturn, voices are emerging in Europe and the US questioning the duration of Western support for Ukraine. These voices argue that governments should prioritize the well-being of the citizens over international engagements. Opposition leaders are pressuring their respective governments to reassess their commitments and allocate resources domestically instead. Further, the potential for a change in leadership in any major Western nation adds an additional layer of complexity to the situation, as a shift in leadership could lead to policy changes, altering the course of the war and potentially creating challenges for Ukraine. As we consider these factors, it appears that the Western support for Ukraine appears to be reaching a tipping point. Given the heavy economic toll the war has taken, Western nations will likely seek a settlement in the near future in order to alleviate the strain. However, the road to settlement is fraught with uncertainty, as both sides have significant concerns and interests at stake. Neither Russia nor Ukraine is showing signs of backing down, and the war is dragging. And the feasibility of reaching a negotiated resolution remains uncertain. One of the key challenges lies in finding common ground that satisfies the interests and demands of both parties. If Russia agrees to participate in the negotiating process, it is highly unlikely to accept terms that reverse its territorial gains or compromise the credibility of its military. From its perspective, maintaining control over certain regions is crucial to its strategic objectives and influence in the region. On the other hand, Western nations would face their own set of challenges in providing significant concessions to Russia, as making concessions to Russia may be perceived as undermining the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. That would hurt the Western narrative. Balancing their narrative and Ukraine's security along with their domestic priorities is a delicate task. The settlement process itself may introduce additional complexities. Negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, facilitated by international actors, could potentially lead to divisions among Ukrainian allies. Divergent perspectives and priorities might make it challenging to present a unified front. This could complicate the negotiations and prolong the path towards a resolution. The prolonged nature of the conflict, economic pressures, and political dynamics within Western nations have all contributed to a shift in priorities and a re-evaluation of the long-term sustainability of support to Ukraine. Western nations find themselves facing a wariness and dwindling enthusiasm for further involvement in the region. The future of the conflict and the level of Western support for Ukraine remain uncertain. As economic downturns and domestic priorities take precedence, difficult decisions lie ahead for Western governments. The trajectory of the war and the fate of Ukraine may be significantly impacted by these shifting dynamics.